Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. This is day 2 of Donald Trump's shutdown, but it's day 256 of the chaos that the Trump presidency has unleashed on the American people. Republicans have shut the government down because they don't want to provide health care to working class Americans. House Democrats continue to be here on duty. House Republicans are on vacation. We are ready, we are willing, we are able to sit down with anyone, anytime, any place, including the president and the vice president, to try to find a path forward to reopen the government, enact a spending agreement that actually meets the needs of the American people while at the same time addressing the Republican health care crisis. Unfortunately, Republicans have shown zero interest in even having a conversation. After the White House meeting, on Monday, we've seen behavior by the president that is unserious and unhinged. And Leader Schumer and myself haven't gotten a single phone call as it relates to a follow-up conversation. We're ready to have that conversation, but we need credible partners on the other side of the aisle. And Donald Trump and Republicans have made clear they wanted to shut down the government. They want to inflict pain on the American people. They continue to engage in their retribution efforts, and they have zero interest, zero, in providing high quality, affordable, and accessible care to everyday Americans. Questions?
Leader Jeffries, Speaker Johnson says he's got nothing to negotiate with you over. Will you accept anything less than a permanent extension of Affordable Care Act subsidies?
The legislation that House Democrats and Senate Democrats have introduced together relates to a permanent extension of the Affordable Care Act tax credits for working class Americans. Understand, in the Republican One Big Ugly Bill, where they enacted the largest cut to Medicaid in American history, stole food from the mouths of hungry children, hungry seniors, and hungry veterans. And all of this was done so that they could provide massive tax breaks to their billionaire donors. And you know what? Those massive tax breaks were made permanent. Why in the world should everyday Americans, working class Americans, hardworking American taxpayers accept anything less? I mean, literally this year, House Republicans, Senate Republicans, and Donald Trump enacted massive tax breaks for their billionaire donors, for the wealthy, the well-off, and the well-connected, all to subsidize the lifestyles of the rich and shameless. And this was done permanently, and now they want the American people, not us, Democrats, the American people to accept anything less than a permanent extension of tax credits that make their health care affordable. Understand this, over the last few days and over the next few days, what you're going to see is more than 20 million Americans experience dramatically increased health care premiums, copays, and deductibles because of the Republican unwillingness to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits. They're not even willing to extend it for multiple years, let alone do what Republicans just did for billionaire donors, which is to extend the billionaire tax breaks permanently. Of course, the American people should accept nothing less.
Leader
Jeffries.
Good afternoon. You said yesterday this was not about 2026. Are you concerned in any way about the political ramifications that voters might blame your side down the road?
The American people are crystal clear on who shut down the government. Crystal clear. They know it was Donald Trump and Republicans for a wide variety of reasons. Republicans have repeatedly shut the government down throughout the years. And does any reasonable person think that Donald Trump or J.D. Vance or Mike Johnson or Senate Republicans are behaving like individuals who actually want to reopen the government? I mean, House Republicans literally are on vacation right now, scattered throughout the country and the world. Democrats have been here all week. We want to have a bipartisan discussion, use common sense to reopen the government, pass a spending agreement that makes life better for the American people, particularly as it relates to their high cost of living. Understand something, Chad. Donald Trump and Republicans spent all of last year promising that they were going to lower the high cost of living. They also spent all of last year running away from Project 2025, acting like Project 2025 didn't exist. But what have they been doing this year? This year, they've done nothing. Zip, zero, stingy with De Niro, nothing to lower the high cost of living for everyday Americans. While at the same period of time, implementing and unleashing Project 2025. Now, all of a sudden, Donald Trump admits it was his project all along. He just did it earlier today. What we're saying is America's too expensive. Donald Trump has made things worse. Costs haven't gone down on day one, they're going up. The cost of living is going up. Inflation is going up. The Trump tariffs are actually making life more expensive, thousands of dollars more per year for average, everyday Americans because of the Trump tariffs. And now Republicans refuse to do anything to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits. And as a result of that, tens of millions of Americans are going to have their premiums skyrocket out of control, double, triple, or quadruple. People are going to face medical bankruptcy. Millions of American citizens. And Republicans don't want to do anything about it. Democrats are in this fight until we win this fight.
Leader Jeffries, thank you. The White House is now threatening to fire thousands of federal employees. Is that a risk that you're willing to take by putting up this fight, and for how long?
The Trump administration has been firing thousands of federal employees outside of the context of a government shutdown since January 20th. Literally, they've been engaging in mass firings, the Trump administration, since January 20th. And no reasonable person can come to the conclusion that simply because they've now decided to shut the government down, that all of a sudden they're going to take an approach where they're going to fire federal employees, where outside of them shutting the government down, they were not going to fire federal employees. Because, guess what? They've been firing federal employees all along. That's a shame. These are hard-working public servants, many of them veterans. And in fact, more than 300,000 black women have lost their job in the Trump economy. This is extraordinary stuff. This is what they've been doing prior to this shutdown. They need to come to the table. We can go back to the White House, or they can come up here and we can have a conversation to end this shutdown. They're hurting the American people. Let's find a bipartisan path forward, and let's address the Republican healthcare crisis. Last question.
Given that dynamic, and given the way that the president has been tweeting memes about you, has been, in your words, the words of Democrats, already dismantling healthcare, what makes you think that he will negotiate anything? What makes you think that he and Republicans will cave to you?
Public sentiment. At the end of the day, the public knows that Donald Trump and Republicans have shut the federal government down, and that they're continuing to engage in the chaos and the cruelty and the corruption that we've seen from this administration from day one of the presidency. Again, this is the first week of their shutdown, but we've had months of chaos and cruelty unleashed on the American people. And the American people are paying close attention. And they know that it was Donald Trump and Republicans who have shut the government down. They also know that House Democrats are fighting and Senate Democrats are fighting to protect the health care of the American people, because the Republican health care crisis has been devastating to people all across the country, devastating to working class Americans, devastating to rural America, to urban America, to the heartland of America, to small town America, and to black and brown communities all across America. We've never seen anything like this in terms of the pain that has been inflicted on the American people by Republicans. House Democrats are simply making the case that we need to cancel the cuts lower the costs, and save health care. Thank you all.
Leader
Thank
Jeffries,
you all.
can you address the
Everybody
20
stay down.
billion and
Thank you all.
27 billion Republicans say in fraud is included in the subsidies program? Is there any room for compromise with the conservatives?
Hello?